Obviously, it's great to. It's a great building to coach in. I'm playing. It's fun in that sense. I got great memories of being here in the 2006 first round games, and we beat Matt George Mason. We beat Michigan State and North Carolina. That was a good weekend here in Dayton for me. Today, not as good. Really impressed with Dayton's team. We played them last year at our place, beat them, and man, I think they've really put a lot of team speed around Duran. That also includes shooting. And they were like a lot bigger last year positionally, but not the type of speed that they now have defensively on the perimeter. Makes it really, really tough. And then they didn't lose anything in the shooting department. So obviously, very well coached. And I think the composition around the roster, around Duran, is very, very good. Unfortunately for us, we're just not playing well. We're 3-1. We're shooting like 48% from three, and I feel like we haven't made a three in about 10 days. So, we're gonna have to find a way to reset this for we play in a week at home, and but I thought we competed. We have a lot of young guys out there, many more young guys than most. So, those guys got some good experience tonight. Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, looking back on it, I mean, again, it got away from us a little bit because of our couple of turnovers in shooting. But I thought we did a pretty good job in the first half at times of mixing it up, playing them straight up and doubling. But no, those are really hard decisions. We have a very good defensive center who had a hard time with them, and then he's a good passer. He's used to being doubled, so it's not like these reads and stuff are new. I'm sure they're spending a lot of time on getting it out of there when he is doubled. He's got great size. He's a good passer. And again, they've put a lot of shooting around him. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You try to mix up as best you could. I thought for a little bit of the game, that was actually not so bad for us. But again, on the offensive end, we couldn't get anything going. So we couldn't, keep the game closer.
Of all the shooters, Kobe Bryant has been the most dangerous.
Oof.
How aware do you guys have?
I mean, we're not great at it right now. But he's an impressive, his shot is, very, very clean. It looks the same every single time. He shoots it from deep, shooting it off the dribble some now. The guy is as good of a shooter as it is. It's great to have a guy like that with Duran.
You confident you guys can get it back? I mean, you played 3 of the last 4 on the road. We know how hard it is to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, for us, we win at VCU. That's not an easy place to win. A 3 overtime game against Fordham, but then we come back and beat Davidson in an overtime game. Then I thought played our best game against Mason. You'd hope that, that was we had a little momentum there. But again, we've played 3 out of the 4 on the road and just couldn't figure out a way to win home on Saturday. But my lineup is 5 freshmen, a sophomore, 2 seniors. So we are playing many, many more young players than most teams in college basketball, with the idea that, we can build this a little bit in a way that is sustainable at GW. And we got off to a good start last year, and we were 14-3 10 days ago. That was pretty good with all these young guys. We've got a little bit of a bump in the road here, and obviously this was never going to be a get well game, right? Because you'd have to play very, very well to win here. But I hoped it was a get better game. And, I got to watch the film to see if it is. But I thought we did compete. It could have gotten real way from us, and I thought our young guys fought there in the second half.
A sign of a good defense, obviously, is speed.
Yeah.
You see that offensively, but defensively tonight, how much did that factor in to not giving you a lot of great looks?
No, I watched our game from last year just to see a little bit about how we defended Duran. And the thing I noticed about their team, it was a little bit different because Malachi Smith, I think, had just come back in that game. But they were so big at every position. We ran by them quite a bit in that game. And we played very well and won the game. You can't run by them right now the way the type of speed that they have in the perimeter from, Bennett, Cheeks. Obviously, Elvis is a fast guy. I think Santos and Brea are not maybe quite as fast, but they're big physical kids. I think that can, at the point of contact, there's some physicality there that it's hard to push through. So again, I think they've done a really good job with that defensively in terms of their group.
Is Dayton the best team we've played this year?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we did play at South Carolina, and they're having a hell of a year. They're a lot of older guys, a lot of 50-year guys. But yeah, I think so. I think they're the best team we play. I think Duran's the best player we've probably played against, and I think he's obviously improved. He didn't shoot. It was funny. We came into the game thinking he might shoot some threes, and that was a concern. But he did a good job. He goes 1 of 9 the other night, so maybe Anthony told him not to shoot any. But he had been shooting them so well. That's a big concern when a guy who can hurt you at the rim can also do it from 3.
Did you encourage your guys to keep shooting threes even when they weren't going?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to be careful with a young group of guys. I think when Duran's out, it's maybe a little bit easier to finish plays at the rim. When he is in, you better make good rim reads, and what often happens is, even if I said, hey, we want to try to get to the rim first, he's there, and then you got to make good choices as to, like, a lot of times you do have to spray it out. But again, I think there's a little variance here. Like, we were shooting 48% from 3 after 4 league games, and we have a number of guys who can make 3. And we have the guy who was first team all league last year. He's had a couple of bad games, right? And so, you hope that, maybe even in the second half, you make 1 or 2, and the guy feels like, hey, I got this back,
Any other questions? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.